Taylor, I see you started Zayn Williams today, and just watching him play, one thing that I noticed was that he doesn't show, at least to me, a lot of the hesitancies that a lot of rookies play with. What have you noticed about his growth this season, especially in these last two games?
Say, a lot of credit to Zaire. I mean, he was huge for us tonight, really set a tone. His activity, deflections, couple steals, knocked down some early shots for us that gave us some momentum. But, he and I have talked over the course of the season. Obviously he was out for a little stretch there with an injury. And, he said that was great. I actually got to take a step back and kind of just watch games and just get a feel for where I've had success, what I need to keep working on. He's humble during the process. He loves to work. We bring in guys that love to work, but he's really taking advantage of every single day, just figuring out where he's got to get better at. Obviously defensively, I feel like he's gotten better. I think offensively tonight's a great example of him just playing within the offense, playing within himself. Early in the season, trying to read the game, the speed of the game. We talked about a lot of physicality of the game, but I love how the kid comes out, competes, plays a lot of activity, and the ball just kind of found him tonight in a couple of different situations because he put himself in those positions. So a lot of credit to him. Love the work he's been putting in, but he's, actively said this has been great just to have these opportunities, just to take a step back, keep reading the game, seeing the game, and it's going to pay off big in the long run for him.
On Zoom, we'll go to Drew Hill.
Taylor, was it a luxury to be able to keep the minutes down for some of these guys tonight, especially after a lot of guys played a lot of minutes with players out the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, no, it's always, this time of year, it's great when you can, really get deep into the bench and guys aren't playing, high 20s. They're playing in the mid to low 20s. That's big time. A lot of guys stepped up tonight, starting lineup, having DB back. I thought he was great tonight. Ja was great. Zaire was great. JJ was big, in the second half for us, but then, Tice and BC, we've been talking about the spark that they keep giving us. Those guys were great tonight, and working guys back into the roster. It's definitely, an opportunity right now to kind of figure out the rotations. And when you're able to see a lot of different guys go out there and compete tonight, there's just more for us to kind of work off of moving forward. But when you don't have to stress guys that much, especially because I think we're in the middle of 5 and 7, 8 and 12, it happens in the NBA. Anytime you can, preserve some of your energy and legs moving forward, it's big time.
Hey, Coach, when you get to like a 20-point lead in the second half, how do you go about stressing your game plan, or do you just fluctuate, go with alternative, or doing something alternative in the middle to try to rest your guys? How do you do that?
No, I mean, it's obviously, the NBA, it's the classic, there's no lead that's safe, especially when you get to 20, any point in the game. But we're just business as usual. The guys are the ones coming in the timeout saying, keep working, keep going on the run, keep getting the same stops, keep up the activity. So I give them a lot of credit. They understand what it takes. I just come in there and I just talk about the matchups, the coverages, what we need to execute maybe a little bit differently on the offensive end, just keep reading the game and just take it within the segments of the game and just kind of let it take care of itself.
Sean Coleman.
Coach, congrats on the win. You talk about setting the tone. How encouraging is it that, obviously tonight the Pistons are a very competitive team, but, such as the Pistons, teams like the Suns and Brooklyn and things like that, it just seems every single night the consistency there, which you've talked about before, of really getting off to a great start, regardless of opponent. You're setting the tone for the Grizzlies to play their style of game. How important has that been to how much y'all have been winning over the past 6 weeks?
It's big time. I mean, I'm always going to say it. You win games in a lot of different fashions, but when you can come out and hold a team to 18 points in the first quarter, that's big. I mean, that kind of sets the stage for you. And luckily, we were, had some fuel on the offensive end, had a really good first half. I thought we could have built the lead even a little bit more. I can't remember if we were like 18 or so at halftime or 16 at halftime. But, every night, different challenges. We knew this team was going to come in and be very competitive, very scrappy. I mean, Bay had been playing really well. I thought our attention to detail on the game plan with him was phenomenal. JJ started on him, unique matchup for JJ. He's not always guarding, shooters or, shooting bigs or wings that are pretty dynamic. He did a great job. Obviously, Cunningham's been playing pretty well. I thought we, did for the most part a pretty good job on him. DB played great with the physicality. Zaire on him. Josh Jackson, the punch off the bench. I thought we did a good job there. So guys understood what the game plan was. I thought they came out, did a great job, set that tone in that first quarter. Talked about we just got to keep building that. Luckily we were able to build our lead after halftime going into that fourth quarter.
A guy like Steven Adams, we see opposing coaches come here all the time and emphasize game planning against him. how is he still able to get 14 rebounds and 5 offensive boards and control the game in the paint the way he does?
No, it's hard. I mean, obviously, the first step is putting guys with size out there, try to match up. You talk about multiple guys rebounding and trying to, jump over them and stuff, but he's just got a great knack for the ball. I mean, he's done it for so many years. He knows what his strengths are. He knows the possessions he can create for us. So I think, there's going to be moments where you'll put the physicality on multiple guys there. But I think at the end of the day, when it's a 50-50 ball, that guy has proven time after time again, it's hard to stop him. So really proud of what he does for us, continue to, build that anchor mentality for us on the offensive end, defensive end, man in the paint, creating so many opportunities for us. He's huge. And I know he's probably a big time part of game plans for other teams. The fact that he's finding success, just keep telling him, keep doing what you're doing.
Drew Hill.
Taylor, how do you think Dylan and DeAnthony played, specifically alongside their teammates? It seemed like, even though they missed time, they fit in right away. There was no, lapse as far as those guys go.
Yeah, no lapses. I mean, obviously I thought DB had a pretty good night tonight, played with the same aggressiveness that we've been seeing all season long, getting downhill. Had his game legs pretty much, I thought, in the minutes that he played. Obviously, he'll keep battling it out game after game to get back to full swing. But I thought he was great. I thought defensively, the same tone setter that we always talk about. He was great tonight. Deflections, came up with a couple of loose balls that we needed as they were cutting to the basket off the weak side. And then Melt, didn't have the shooting night that, he normally has, but I thought he got pretty good looks there. He played with a good burst out there, multiple rebounds, activity on and off the ball. So obviously these guys have been out, but they came out and they contributed big time. Great. Thanks, everybody.